Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Sober Swole podcast. My name is Jake Howard.
Yes. My name is Ryan, but I go by DJ Swirl.
Chocolate and
Every time.
vanilla swirl.
Yeah. What do we got for the people
And,
tonight?
well, before we got for the people tonight is a Ohio softball coach sex pest.
Heyo.
But before we get into that, let's give a shout out to Royalty Nutrition. That's royaltynutrition.com. And to help me out with that, as always, here's Warhorse.
Hey, it's Warhorse. Do you want your workouts to look like this? Or do you want your workouts to slay? When Warhorse picks his pre-workout, he wants it to slay. If you want second place, go with somebody else. If you want to be a champion, go with Royalty Nutrition.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Royalty Nutrition is a veteran-owned and operated supplement company that doesn't automatically use the cheapest ingredients possible when making their supplements for you. Check them out and use the discount code 37HAKE to save you 15% on your entire order. My next shout-out of the evening will be to Gorilla Gains. That's gorilla-gains with a Z.com. They are a fitness apparel company that you can wear comfortably in and out of the gym. They also make great equipment that helps keep you safe while you train. Check them out and use the discount code JAKE15 to save you 15% on your order there as well. Ryan, tell them about the Empire.
My phone, man.
You're dead-eyed. You're just coming in dead-eyed.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you are out shopping, whether in-store or online, and you find you don't have the time, towing, or the muscle to get it home, reach out to Buy2Buy. That is at BUYTOBYE.com. Let us know what you've got going on, and we will make sure that we take care of you from the time you buy until the time we say goodbye. We do on-demand delivery, moving, staging, assembly, and TV mounting. We also do something else that I am not prepared to say. I'm looking at it right here. I'm like, I can't say that yet. This, what you see right now, is the content creation side of Buy2Buy, aka Buy2Buy Studios. So if you have a show that you're already doing, or you have a show that you want to do, you don't want to just sign up and do the audio version, you want to give it some pizzazz, you come to the right place. We are remote live streaming, podcasting, consulting, all from the comfort of your confines. High quality, low cost, always a sound decision. It's Buy2Buy Studios. So let's get into this.
So we have the Cairo 7 in, I'm assuming, Ohio pulled up. And it's former Ohio softball coach pleads guilty to having sex with student. And it says, in New Miami, Ohio, former softball coach and teacher's aide at New Miami High School in Ohio pleaded guilty Wednesday to charges involving sexual contact with a 17-year-old student. According to court records, Ashley Risen pleaded guilty to 1 count of sexual battery and 2 counts of sexual imposition. According to the indictment, Risen engaged in sexual conduct with a student 8 times in April 2021 and quit her job on May 3, 2021, the same day alleged crimes were reported to Butler County Sheriff's Office. In addition to what the child tells us, we do have recordings between Ms. Risen and the child where Ms. Risen makes multiple incriminating statements and begging the child not to report her to the authorities. Assistant Prosecutor Lindsay Sheehan said in previous court hearings the TV station reported. Meanwhile, court records indicate that Risen originally faced 5 other counts of sexual battery, a felony charge of tampering with evidence, and a misdemeanor charge of furnishing alcohol to an underage person. But those charges were dismissed. Officials with the New Miami Board of Education confirmed to WXIX that Risen, who had joined the school district in August 2015, coached girls softball and basketball.
So first, her name is Ashley.
Yeah.
So does that do you think that the kids called her Smashly?
Oh, for sure. And
Yes.
she's not a bad looking lady either.
I didn't get that far.
Like,
I
oh,
got the story.
like she's not like a stereotypical women's softball coach looking lady. Let's just put it that way.
So you know that meme
Okay.
that is like teachers in the 80s and then teachers
Yeah.
nowadays? Okay.
Yeah. The one
Cool.
with Sylvester Stallone in the floral shirt.
Yeah. Oh man.
Uh-huh.
She's not unattractive.
Mm-hmm.
However, we we just started talking about this right before we came on, and as two men having this conversation, it's almost impossible to look at this situation without highlighting the double standard.
Oh, no, definitely. Because part of you as a man wants to go, this dude was living like a king. What the fuck?
Smashly.
You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? And but then you have to go, he's a child.
A child. And they did a good job of reiterating that fact in this article.
Yep. And like if something like this was happening to one of my daughters, dog, I'd be out for blood.
Where's that? Where's that? Where's the
Yes.
Yeah, you got it, bro. Let's see it. Absolutely. Lock and load.
I'll keep that thing on me. But
Yeah. So if it had been a male teacher with a girl or your daughter, it would be DEFCON 3.
oh my god. Well, see, the thing is, I was reading what she's pled guilty to and what she was dropped. I didn't see any counts of statutory rape on there.
Yep.
I don't know how their sexual predator
Their laws, right?
laws work, but like more than likely she's probably going to skirt with not having to register as a sex offender.
Right.
Um, she does any jail time, it's going to be minuscule.
Yep.
And this is not the first case of a female teacher engaging in such acts that I've read this year. This is the most current one. That's why
Right.
it's getting brought up. But what the hell?
Yeah. So
Like,
as much as we talk about her appearance, 17-year-old boy, if he's an athlete, is in good shape.
yep.
He's you know, you watch all these television shows about high school dramas and all the people that are in it look pretty. So it's like get it.
But let's be real. Like this kid was getting high fives from all his homies, and like he was big man on campus.
And even the girls in his class or in his grade, like if he can take care of a woman,
Mm-hmm.
he can probably take care of them.
You know, he is engaging in
Coitus.
coitus.
I don't know why I like that word so much. I do.
It's a great because it's a great word.
It's like the anti-moist.
Yep.
And it's very close. It's very close to moist coitus. But yeah, man. So high fives from the guys. The girls probably would talk bad about him, but behind closed doors,
They're like,
testing the waters. So yeah. So she originally faced 5 other counts.
yep.
And
then it was,
so sexual battery. What does that make you think when you see that count?
well, like battery is like not necessarily like an act. It's like the everything.
But it's sexual battery. So it's like
Yeah, I don't even know what sexual battery means.
yeah, I think we need so you Google that. But
well, pull me off camera.
so you go for it. You do that. I'm giving you permission since we're taking it back to the old school and winging it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can go ahead and do the live Google search. But so sexual battery, that makes me think, just on the surface, not knowing any better, that
Oh,
he did things he didn't want to.
okay. Sexual battery in the U.S. Sexual battery means oral, anal, or vaginal penetration by or union with the sexual organ of another, or the anal or vaginal penetration of another by any other object.
Yep.
However, sexual battery does not include an act done for a bona fide medical purpose.
So colonoscopy can't be considered sexual battery.
Unless you didn't go in for a colonoscopy, I suppose.
True. Very good. Very good. So toys were involved. Boundaries were pushed.
Yeah.
He didn't like it. He's 17, man. Like,
Yeah.
I had no idea what I was doing. A felony
No.
charge of tampering with evidence. So she tried to destroy her phone.
I'd have to actually
just
follow the court case.
without knowing any better. Just like it makes me think. It makes me think of Tom Brady.
It's like, so she was probably like deleting text messages and pictures.
Yeah. She's covering her tracks. And then a misdemeanor of first of all, why is it only a misdemeanor of furnishing alcohol to an underage person? If it would have been cannabis, would it have been a misdemeanor?
Sorry, I'm
Unhappy baby.
I'm just hearing my 1-year-old let the world know what the fuck's up. So, sorry, real quick before we get into talking about probably the cannabis felony that she would have got.
Right.
But up until recently, she was always my quiet, super sweet.
Oh.
You know. But it's been a couple months, but she's like, oh, by the way, I have a personality.
Very
and I'm also not quiet. So, like, she's still snuggly and super sweet, but she's like, when she
got to compete with Ruth.
When she wants to let you know, she lets you know.
So she's letting mommy know right now, huh?
Mm-hmm. 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 Well, because it's about bedtime anyway. It's
right.
Just after 8:30. I don't know why they're downstairs anyway. But anyway, so no, she would have definitely I don't know. I don't know Ohio's cannabis laws,
right,
or how they're written either. But I assume that she'd probably get one of those. If it was a cannabis, it would have stuck.
Right, because it's a Schedule I drug.
Yeah.
So she might as well have given him fentanyl. Rainbow colored fentanyl. Yeah. So the double standard, of course, is she's not going to get as bad of an offense or as punishment or be held accountable the same way a man would if it was the roles were reversed.
Do you remember the South Park episode? So the Barflowski family had adopted a Canadian child named Ike, and he was in kindergarten, and like the kindergarten teacher fell in love with Ike, and they had a relationship.
Wow, I didn't see that one. No.
It's because it's great because it really points out the double standard and the absurdity of the double standard.
Sure. Because
the boys go to the police and they report what's going on to the police, and the police are all like, nice, exactly. Nice.
Yep.
Nice. And so that's where that meme comes from, actually, if you see the South Park.
Gotcha.
Nice. It's from that episode. But yeah, even reading some comments and stuff in social media posts, it's just dudes like, where were these teachers when I was growing up? What the fuck?
Always. It's always the default.
So, why is this dude snitching?
He didn't know what he had.
Yeah, but it's also one of those things, like, that's a kid.
A child.
Who's a child, and who a concerned parent every once in a while is, let me see your phone.
Yeah.
Or
let alone have the parental controls to where you can see what's going on.
Right.
Ugh.
Like, come on now. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't understand these people.
So, piggybacking off of that, I had a Spanish teacher.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
I was saying, and you'll have people say too, 17. Shit, if you would have murdered somebody, he'd be charged as an adult. That's pretty much a grown man.
Yep.
Come on, dude.
Yep. The thresholds, they'll always test that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I
You
had
can join the military at 17.
yep. So I had a Spanish teacher in high school in Central Indiana. Uh, Smoke show. She was very attractive, and I did well enough in high school to where my senior year I had the option to not go to school the second half of the year. But I've had a job since I was 11, so me not being in school meant I had to work. So I got to use the last half of my senior year to just cruise control. And so one of the classes that I had, quote unquote classes, was being a teacher aide for my Spanish teacher. I had fun. That was a good class. Um, and I like learning Spanish and trying to, as good as you can, the Spanish they teach you in Central Indiana, but in the mid 90s or late 90s, early 2000s. But yeah, man, she was very attractive. And as a teacher aide, I was there working on stuff and I went to grab something and I saw a yearbook. So I picked it up just thinking it was ours. Nope, it was hers. My teacher's from the 70s or whenever she was in high school. And so she saw it and she got her beat face red and she was like, put that down, put that down. And so I was like, I'm for sure going to look at this.
Yeah,
And
absolutely not.
so found her and she looked as good, if not better. And so hearing this story and understanding the double standard, I can tell you with confidence, I would have tried and I would have failed mightily. And I would have been okay with that failure because she's a smoke show. But yeah, it would, I can already look and I can see my friend's reaction if any of that had been going down. Now, understand late 90s, early 2000s, pagers were still in. So there's no DMing, there's no texting, there's no convenient communication to where we can be inappropriate for a long period of time. So, kids nowadays, man, it's open season. And you can use WhatsApp if you're smart and it's encrypted, right?
Yeah,
So it's
supposedly.
protected. So yeah, man, I'm glad I didn't have all the technology, all those tools at my disposal back then cuz probably would have tried. Not bragging, just lust,
Well, it's
teenage lust.
young
Yeah,
dumb hormones.
absolutely. But yeah, smoke show. And her daughter was bad too. And actually weirdly got like she basically said, "I like you. You're a good young man. You would be good for my daughter." So would have tried that too, but
uh,
didn't work out that way. But yeah, man, this double stand, it's craziness to understand all of the things that go on in high school, all of the pressures, all of the hormones, everything going on, and then just for a teacher to be game and then look good or decent. Like it's a slippery slope, man. No pun intended.
mhm. Somebody was slipping and sliding.
It was not me. But she was married. Like there were several things that kept it from happening. From
Oh,
either
you're
from,
talking
from
about
it.
your teacher. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So there was really no threat of it happening. It was just the way that your mind works when you're young. It was something that was like a fantasy, I guess. I don't know, but she was just
How old was this
she was in
coach
her
here?
she was oh this coach here.
Yeah.
I don't think it said.
Yeah. Well, let's assume she's in her late 20s, early 30s.
Yep.
Uh, single, relatively young professional,
Hmm.
probably just enjoying her slut era, as the ladies like to say now.
Doing cute dances on TikTok.
Yeah,
Doing thirst traps online, like the normal things that happen. Absolutely, dude.
yeah.
Oof.
And you're in New Miami, Ohio, so I assume.
Not a whole lot to do.
I mean, obviously, she found something to do. Aha, 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 aha.
She found something to do, and then now she's getting done. So,
Yeah.
yeah, man, I'm not sure. So, what punishment do you think she'll get?
Uh,
You know, without knowing the
if,
laws, just on the surface, it's
if
probably not
it
going to be severe.
if it's any time, it'll be less than 10 years. Way
Wow, 10
less.
seems long.
I know, but it'll be less. It'll be like
3,
3 maybe,
one and a
and
half with good
then
behavior.
yeah, and then I don't know if she'll have to register as a sex offender,
Good point.
and at minimum, she's going to get probation
Right.
because I'm sure this fine, upstanding white lady didn't have a criminal record to begin with,
Ah,
and she's learned her lesson. She'll never bang a kid again.
wow. Wow. Yeah, that's
Like,
truth
just
to
call it
that.
what it is.
No doubt.
Like it's so there, the double standard also applies here because, like, yes, women do have their day in court to face their pedophilia,
Right.
but they don't. The stigma that comes attached to a man is way different.
Unhappy. Yeah. And then if this were in a different state, if this were in, let's say, Utah, um, men are able to wed and to engage in coitus with younger than 17, correct?
It's just Tyga. Um, I don't know.
But just like
I
the culture to where you can marry multiple women and they can, or I'm sorry, women, girls, and they can be quite young. Women aren't allowed to do the same thing, correct?
I can't speak on it.
Yeah, I don't know
If
either,
that,
but I would assume because of the patriarchy
yeah.
that they can't have multiple men. They can't have a squad
Well, so for the longest time, polygamy was a felony
in
in
Utah.
Utah. Hmm.
Really? Okay.
Polygamy has been a felony for a while. It wasn't up until recently that it got dropped to a misdemeanor. Because even though the foundations of the Church of Latter Day Saints, polygamy was okay, they decided that it's probably not okay for a while.
Wait, so what
And
they're playing God?
well, dude, I actually watched a really great video that broke down uh, Mormonism yesterday,
Oh,
and then I sent the video to a Mormon friend of mine, and was like, "Can you like punch holes in this for me
yeah,
or
no doubt.
something?"
No doubt.
Just because like I don't want to be ignorant. I grew up in a Southern Baptist church, so I grew up whenever like the big church revivals would happen and like guest speakers would come in. Guaranteed one of the guest speakers was like, "This is how you combat Mormonism." So I have a ingrained bias
Sure.
from childhood. So not to come off as ignorant, I was like, "Here's this video. What do you think?"
Yep.
And she was like, "No, that's it." Oh, okay.
Just an
Oh, okay.
acknowledgement, the cosign. Oh man.
Yeah, yeah. So I was like, "Oh, cool."
Yep.
So, and this is a recent leaver of the church,
Okay.
holy underwear wearing and everything.
Hey yo.
So,
Yeah.
shout out to Burgundy. But
Oh boy. That's crazy, man.
yeah.
Crazy.
But anyway,
So in a
so
different state, she might not even gotten in trouble. It might have just been like stop
mm,
or be
it,
better about it.
it'd probably be who the kid was, who the
Very good.
sheriff is, who the mayor is, who
Yep.
the teacher was.
Because when it gets to that point in that certain community, it's not about rehabilitation, being sent to prison or jail or whatever. It's about hindering their potential,
Mm-hmm.
creating a setback that would make it more difficult for them to thrive later in life. So let's be lenient. Even though she
Yeah.
tried to delete messages, begged and pleaded for him not to report her, and gave him
Yeah.
alcohol.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, yeah. Yeah, but there's no such thing. There's no such thing as fair in the justice system. So,
Mm-hmm.
uh, so,
How
so,
good is your lawyer? Who do
so,
you
like,
know?
so, like the Catholic priests, will she just be reassigned?
I don't think she'll teach again.
I mean, she joined the school district in 2015. So
Mm-hmm.
6 years in, you think this was the first time?
Maybe because uh, there
You think
hasn't
that
been follow up stories
you
kind of
think other
thing.
boys are gonna come out the woodwork, do a class action? Damn. Oof.
Speaking of that, do you see just Deshaun Watson got sued again just
I'm sure he did.
recently?
I'm sure he did. Well, oh, I saw that the former president went on his social media and then defamed the lady who was currently or who couldn't sue him because he was president, and now that he no longer is, he just put his foot in his mouth, and so now she can again. So, yeah, man, it's a happening. It's a happening.
This goddamn clown world we live in, I'm pretty tired
Clown,
of it.
the upside down. So, speaking of that, do you have anything else you want to add to this?
Not to this story. I had a pretty good weekend.
Well, I came across this article this morning and I forgot about it until we started talking about this
Yeah.
because I mentioned, Schedule 1 cannabis. According to Money Watch, CBS News, Floridians will soon be able to buy marijuana products along with cigarettes and snacks at Circle K gas stations.
That's badass.
Under a new partnership, weed will be sold at these Rise Express dispensaries with separate entrances for the gas stations. So basically, it's like a McDonald's attached to the gas station. Among products that will be for sale are marijuana flower, pre-rolls, gummies, and vapes. Woof. Up and running by the end of this year.
Wow.
They said it will, quote, make it easier and more efficient for patients to purchase high quality cannabis as part of their everyday routine when stopping by their local convenience store. So they immediately used it for medical because Florida is only medical. And so the nearly 500,000 Floridians who currently possess a medical marijuana card will be living it up. But yeah, it's not legal in Florida, but they're putting it in Circle K already. What? Talking about upside down, bro. Like, huh? That sounds like entrapment.
Yeah. Yeah, it does.
Damn, man.
So,
Oh boy. To be honest, if they offered this in Arizona, high five. High five. That would have been a reason for me to keep my medical card. Because once it became recreational, the only thing that changed was the taxes, was how much you get charged without having a medical card, and it's marginal. So I didn't have any reason to re-up because there were no special deals. There was no really special perk. The only perk I'm missing out on is I cannot get delivery. You have to have a medical card in Arizona to get delivery. And so I got a message from the brand that I choose, and they said they were having a pop-up, and it was at a space that was like 5 miles from where I was, and I'm dry right now, so I was like, hey yo. And then I saw it that it was the delivery. The dispensary does both in-house and delivery, but you had to include your medical card information in order to get the delivery, and mine expired a few months ago. So I could have tried, I could have tested the waters, but it didn't, the pros and cons didn't add up. So I was like, it's not worth my time to mess up or ruin the delivery driver's day show up with it, expect money, and then have to send back, right? Because
Yeah.
that would have been cool for them. So I didn't try it, but like to know that Circle K, there's a grip of Circle K's out here.
Mm-hmm.
There are several corners where there are two on the possible four sides of an intersection. So
Well, yeah. Well, the Circle K here on the corner, that's where I bought some CBD gummies a while
yeah,
back, and that's
but
what I was
see,
feeding my that's what I was feeding my dog after she had her little lipoma surgery to help her with the
yeah.
pain.
So CBD, one thing. THC, whole new ball game.
Ah!
No, no, no,
Oh
no.
no! You feel good? It's a
Yeah,
crime.
exactly, exactly. So even then, even they're making Florida is the Wild West, man. Florida is its own country at this point, so um, it's a lot different there. But yeah, I came across this and parlaying off of the felony charge of, or I'm sorry, the misdemeanor charge of furnishing alcohol. It's like that's a felony charge if you furnish medical cannabis that you bought at Circle K to a non-medical card holding person. That's entrapment, bro.
Hmm.
That is a slippery ass slope. But it is on the tail end of the current president saying that they are going to start going after simple possession, which if you bought it at Circle K, I'm pretty sure that's what it would turn into, right?
Yeah. So
So
wait, Biden said they're going after simple possession.
yeah, he signed an executive order that said that all federal, and that's important,
Mm.
federal misdemeanor, I'm sorry, federal simple possession, they're expunging the
Expunging
records of
those
the people.
records.
Yeah. So,
Hmm.
but that's only going to affect like they said thousands is
Yeah, which
what the thing was. So that's not a whole lot. So it's a very small gesture. However, it starts the tone, or it sets the tone for the states. You know, because that's what they say. They pass the buck, make it a states issue, and so states can act accordingly. And if the
mhm.
states play ball, it's a big deal
Yep.
because right
So,
now you can buy cannabis here, and it's still federally illegal.
right.
However, you can just I've never felt a type of way about getting cannabis or having cannabis on me out here because of the way that they've done it. So,
Mhm.
but yeah, the simple possession thing, man. Circle K, that's lining right up for that. So, but if it's in a state that only does medical, does that give them more in terms of business because capitalism? Will that now move the needle in Florida for them to make it adult and
It
recreational?
definitely should. Definitely should, because otherwise you're just going to have to close those dispensaries. They're just turn around and close them.
That's bad
Because
business.
yeah, it's terrible business. Dumb.
That's wild, man.
I,
I
I'm
saw
no
that and I was like, holy.
I'm no mathematician, but that sounds pretty dumb to me.
So that means that if Smashley had lived in Florida, that she could get cannabis with a card and then give it to children.
Child. Yeah.
But I'll tell you right now, man, coitus on cannabis, good times. So
Yes.
I don't see it
Yes.
as a negative. However, yeah, slippery slope when it comes to children being involved. Ugh,
Yeah.
man alive. Anyway,
And like me
but
becoming a parent too, it's been like, you see this stuff happening to kids, and I'm like, what the fuck?
I told you about my jack off Jerry story, right?
Jack off Jerry.
Yeah, jack off
Yes.
Jerry. Yeah, the guy who used
Yeah.
to hang out naked in a trench coat while all the kids walked by school. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
something we like South Park. We just blew it off. I probably shouldn't say those words, but yeah, we just walked by his house every day, knowing that there was the chances that Jerry was going to be outside on his porch, on his stoop,
Just
knees spread,
having a time.
knees spread, saying hello to kids as they walk by. Uh, latchkey kid in the '90s, bro. We didn't talk about it. We saw something, we didn't say anything. Just kept it moving. But we damn sure knew not to be around him solo. So we never did, and it never was a problem. I don't know if I have no idea what happened with that guy, and he might have been a nice guy who got a bad rep for something, but it sounds like it's this kind of avenue, like it's a pedo kind of situation.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, man, I remember seeing that as a kid and just being like, and not having the wherewithal to have sympathy for him. Because what drives you to want to do that outside of mental illness?
I can't even
Yeah, it's just
imagine.
it's a perversion by our standards. So, yeah, man, I could have no, I had no opportunity at that age to want better for him, because that can't be a positive. It has to be a sad thing. It has to be just thinking about what does his house inside look like? What does it smell like? Probably not good. And
Oh,
that's sad. That's really sad. But yeah, jack off Jerry.
jack off, Jerry.
Speaking of your good weekend.
Well, speaking of parenting, so I went out quail hunting with my buddy Nate and a couple other guys, and we didn't see birds up until we were walking away, and we couldn't get a clear shot of them because there's some other young man chasing these birds. So we just let them go.
No.
And we were out there. We went to 3 different spots, and we had to have put like 10 miles in worth of walking.
Oof.
Yeah, and it was
With no foul.
none.
Dang.
Fucking Quail Man lives to fight crime another day. But I took my stepson with me because let's get out of the house. You know, there's no video games here.
Mm-hmm.
This is nature. Like, you know, they need to ask me questions about the plants and the cactuses and shit. And I was like, this is what you're supposed to do. This is parenting. This is dope. And that's, you know, and you know, he carried a backpack with like my extra shells in it and his snacks and water and stuff. And as I was just toting around my load.
So how many
It's
rounds did you
just-
fire off if you
Oh.
didn't see any birds? Because you
Just,
for sure did not shoot your gun.
He shot one. I let him shoot the shotgun,
Okay.
and he went, "Ow!" And I went,
Yeah.
"Yep,
You gonna learn today.
yep, yeah." And I let him. When we go out, especially when we're out and about where we were, there's javelina about, so I had my 9 with me too.
Jakey no likey javelina, correct?
I hate javelina,
Okay.
and they're aggressive. They're aggressive as shit. One of those things come running at you out of a bush, like "fuck you, bud." Pop, pop. I'll call Fish and Game and be like, "Yo, I shot this thing in the face and it was dope," and they'd be like, "I understand."
And they'd be like the cops on South Park and be like, "You all right?
Nice.
Nice."
Mm. No, I let him shoot the 9 too, and he was like, "Ooh." I'm like, "Yeah, buddy,
So
this
so
is
you
fun."
so you went with four you total?
2,
Two.
just 2.
Oh, I thought you said you went with Nate.
Oh no, so it was me, Nate, Danny, Mark, and then Danny's friend Dave, who was supposed to be taking us to all these good spots.
So high five, Dave.
Thanks, Dave.
Thanks, Dave. Is that what's how often, or I'm assuming hunting seasonal, right?
Yeah.
So do you go once a year?
Well, this is the second time I've gone. I went for quail, and I forgot my choke that goes inside my shotgun, so I was missing wildly at whatever birds I shot. So for those of you that don't know, a choke is something that goes inside your barrel of a shotgun, because your shotgun shell, inside of it is your powder, your wad, and then there's little, like, kind of ball bearing, but little BBs kind of thing. And so when you shoot, it spreads. what a choke does is it kind of takes a narrow. When it shoots, it spreads. Let me move my hands down here so you can see. It shoots, it spreads. So what a choke does is it takes your cone of spread and narrows it.
Gotcha.
So I didn't have a choke when I went dove hunting, and it was hilarious. I did knock a feather off one as it flew away laughing at me, and but yeah, no, I found my chokes, and there was just no birds to be found at
But
whole
you
day.
still had a good time?
I had a great time just because like I love being outside, and it was really cool just getting to spend time with the boy.
Good.
And I got to show him how to shoot stuff. That's cool. Like do it the right way, you know.
Yeah.
Understand where you're pointing this. This is, only take your safety off when you're getting ready. Keep your finger off the trigger. Don't be, this is not a toy. It is a tool, but it is a dangerous tool.
Yep.
Like, and this is a game of, this is a game of patience.
Yep.
You can't just be shooting all willy nilly, because when you quail hunt, you and your group, you get online and you walk. So if someone's too far behind and they take a shot, there's a chance you're catching bird shot in your ass from your buddy. Or if someone's too far ahead of you and you shoot, there's a chance of him catching Dick Cheney. It's one of those things like this. And I said, here's the deal. We got to keep online with these guys. And you were staying 2 steps behind me on my ass pocket.
Nice.
So you got to do it the right way.
Followed instructions
To the T, because I made sure to let him know how serious it was. Like, yes, we want to have a good time, but
gotta be safe. Yeah.
Yeah, and I said, listen, these are little birdshot BBs, and I'm not taking you to a doctor for those. I'll get them out.
Oof.
And he goes, oh, okay. And I said, that's right. So I got a pair of needle nose pliers and some hydrogen peroxide, buddy. I'll get you fixed up real good.
Yeah. So speaking of that, one of the growths on the top of my head is coming back.
Yeah.
And so I might need your services pretty soon.
You got to get that whole sack out.
Yeah, the whole thing, man.
So when it comes to cysts like that, there's a sac layer that's on top.
Yep.
If you don't get that sac layer out, it starts refilling.
Yep. Yeah. So the one that I popped,
Dr. Pimple Popper.
Yeah, the one that I popped, it only has a small bubble, and it's been quite a bit of time. This other one, I haven't addressed it, and so it's another one. And so I don't know if it's hereditary. I know my mom has them, but yeah, I've got a couple of small ones on the back of my head and they don't hurt or anything. And this other one, like, I squeezed as much of that stuff out as I could, and it got pretty flat. So, but I never went and saw somebody to get the actual sack out. So it's likely gonna fill back up at some point. But yeah, this other one will need address sooner than later. So, yeah, man, get that scalpel or get your gear.
Oh no, dude, I have scalpels. I have. I'll have to get a new. Staple gun.
Oh, fuck.
Well, because I had to throw that other one away.
So you would staple my head?
Well, no. After I take everything out, then I'd staple your skin back together.
Fuck.
Unless you want me to glue it, you can do that.
We'll see when we get there.
Okay.
We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
I'll pick up some super. In one hand I'll have my super glue, in the other hand I'll have my skin stapler, and I'll go, okay.
So skin stapling on a scalp, pain level, 0 to 10.
Probably sting.
Oh, I'm not worried about a sting.
At max a 4.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, because it's not.
And what's the risk of you fucking me up?
None.
What's the odds of that staple traveling too far?
None.
None. Very good. I'm not.
No,
Let me be clear. I'm not discounting your ability in the least. This is my ignorance and conjuring of thoughts.
uh, uh, attention, people, don't practice medicine unlicensed. No, so when it comes to stuff like this, you just have to get those top layers up. You got to spread it. And what you want to do as you're making your cut is you don't want to go deep enough where you puncture it. So if you puncture it, then all that crap comes out,
Pus.
and
Yeah.
then you gotta be like fuck, and then you gotta scrape that shit.
Yep.
And then
Yep.
and so the goal is to not scrape that shit.
So you're gonna take the entire sack out in one piece.
That's the goal. So if you
Wow.
can take it out in one, if you can take it out in one piece, then it's just there. And then you can cut it open and look at it and
Sure.
dick around if you want.
Oh, I will.
But
I will. If and when we do this, well, I'm gonna put it on here somehow. I'm not sure. I don't think we're gonna do it live, but
well,
just in case.
so we can say this is allegedly Jake Howard then, because I'm not.
Yeah, there will be alleged. There will be.
A face blur and a over here.
Yes. Man. No, I'm good, man. I will re-up on my cannabis beforehand. I will take some of it before we get going, and I will be fine. And it will be what's the time frame? How long will this take you? 10 minutes?
It depends. Yeah, I mean half hour max.
Yeah. Well, I sat
Because,
in a chair and got a tattoo for several hours, and that hurt a lot. So
Mhm.
feel like this will be low on the totem pole.
No, it's because these kind of things are all outpatient.
Exactly. Yeah. And I found out that I can go and get it done pretty cheaply as well. So
Mhm.
either way.
I mean, roll the dice. Let me know.
Oh boy.
I've got steady hands, buddy. We can handle
Come
it.
on. Now. Come on now, man.
No, I quit drinking, so I'm clean.
You're right. Yeah, that's true. That is true.
I don't have those detox shakes. We're doing A-okay. Allegedly, we don't practice medicine. It's the crime. Was that? Have I told the story of the extra medical stuff I took here on the show?
Yeah. You mentioned it before. That's why we talked about it. Was because you're like, I've got this, and this. That's why.
Oh yeah.
I'm bringing it up to you is because you gave me a level of reassurance the first time.
And I was like, dude, I can totally do that. I mean, because I could.
And then I sent you pictures of all the pus I pulled out, and you were like, ew. Amateur.
Boo.
So technically, you judged me, sir. That's fine. That's fine. 'Cause I DIY'd it. No super glue.
Well, so the really cool thing about the scalp is all the capillaries.
Mhm.
It's why if you look at the old professional wrestlers, they have gigged up foreheads and scars all over their foreheads and up and over, and that's because you can bleed a lot from the top of your noggin for a while.
Yep.
So that's gonna be something cool. I'm gonna get you wearing the crimson mask for a little bit.
That would be a cute. So make my head bleed, let it run on my face, take a picture of it, and then who do I send that to? I'm not gonna do. I don't do that kind of stuff. I don't do pranks with my wife.
I was gonna say, can't send it to Go. Send it to your mom.
Oof. My mom, who has practiced medicine for 30 years.
What are you doing? Oh, my buddy Jake came over.
Yeah. Oh man, I will totally set that up like amateur hour to where she'll think that you're just a friend who has no experience, and I just wanted to avoid the outpatientness of it. That would be funny.
I'll bring a banjo or something. Wear a sleeveless shirt. Yes. I wear my sleeveless Brock Lesnar shirt and just. In the pictures, I won't be wearing gloves.
Yeah. make it look very backwoodsy.
Hell yeah.
Oh.
Well, I put the rubbing alcohol on it. He's fine.
Yeah, man.
This is only the third time I've used this scalpel.
After my experience last time, I'm pretty sure it'll be better than what that was, because it
It's
was
just, I
it was
mean,
not fun, man.
well, it's messy. If I get if let's say allegedly I get in there and I pop it, there's a big chance of a.
Oh, sure.
That's why when you see those people that do it, they're wearing those like the face masks. I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to get me one of those actually, just in case. Because,
Oh, so you're gonna let blood run down my face, but you won't take a little pus to yours?
buddy, I love you, but I don't want your pus on my face. I can imagine it'd be real hard to get out of a beard, you know, like.
Boundary established. Absolutely. Cool, man.
I mean, I'll help you with the cleanup later after it's done, but it's like as long as it's not here.
No, I'm good, man. I'll wear a cone. I'll do whatever I need to like a dog cone. No pictures. No pictures of that. That'll be an experience only. But
No,
nah, man, I'll make it.
oh no, we do that, and they're like, no, that's my dog, Ryan.
Oh boy.
Oh, I was gonna get the staples out of Cleo a while ago. And I've been
forgot?
like no, I've been pulling them out as I can
Oh, okay.
because my daughter, who I love, has hidden my tools from me.
Ooh.
So, like, Cleo's fine. She doesn't care. She's like since like she's feeling better. She's been moving so much better.
Yeah.
Like she's running around and like she's jumping up on couches again. She's not supposed to be doing, but you know
She feels better.
damn.
Yeah.
She's damn near 14, and she's like, I'm young and free. Like, because I at least got it detached from her shoulder to where she can move.
Yeah.
So that was a big part of her problem. It was slow. It took time off of her. And it's at the point now too. She's feeling so good. She's getting fucking testy.
Ooh.
Where she's like, because she's always been like the top female, and then Ginger's young and upcoming. So Ginger will come in and test her.
Yep.
Dude, the worst one was so Cleo won from the ground. So my basset hound, she's a basset hound, and so she's long and a sausage dog, and Ginger is an Australian cattle dog, and I'm pretty sure pit bull mix. So Cleo, how she has to fight if she gets in a fight with dogs, because she learned this when I moved back to Illinois with all the male dogs she had to live with. But in order for her to have a standing chance, she has to roll over on her back and expose her neck.
Gotcha.
And so I come running out because I hear the dogs fighting. I'm like, old dog's about to die. Mm-hmm. Nope. Old dog had Ginger by the face. And like, so Ginger's not small either. But like, so Ginger is like, you fucked up. There's your neck. And Cleo's like, gotcha, dummy. And like, had her by her face and was yanking back. And I was like, oh, okay. So, I mean, of course, I have to get in there and break that up, which, you're technically not supposed to do, but I'm not scared of any of these dogs. Bite me, I dare you. This is your last day you're alive. but yeah, man, I was like, old dog still got it. It's in my yard. Fuck. Way proud of her.
Yeah.
But they've been getting along ever since then, so pack mentality.
I had a friend who we were playing poker. Had a few of our coworkers over, and this is at his house, and he had 2 pit bulls, and we were near the back patio, and sounded like World War III going on outside. And so he says, oh shit. And he gets up. And so I've had a couple of dogs, of course, in my life. I've never had a pit bull. I there's stigma, blah blah blah. But I do know, without having experienced, you don't get in the middle of that.
Mm-hmm.
And so he had no protection, like none. He just went out there and was like, looking back on it now, there was someone there that he was trying to impress.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that clouded his decision making, because moments later, and then he comes in and his hand is ripped to shreds. And so it was
Mm-hmm.
like the night ended and he was in the ER. So uh, it was all superficial, and he wound up being all right. But like,
Yeah.
he was in a lot of pain because he got in the middle of it and he shouldn't have. So uh, craziness. No, thank you.
Well, the dogs and I have an understanding. If they start getting real rowdy like that, usually if I step out on the back patio, they're like, "Oh," and they split up.
Sure.
But like, I've gotten in between all of my dogs, all of them, because it's no, don't bite me. That is a mistake.
Yep. No, I do that
'Cause-
with my dog because
mhm,
I'm the only one that plays with him. I don't know why I said her. All my other dogs were female. We play. His love language is wrestling, and
mhm,
so he cuddles with my wife. He wrestles with me, and so I get home. His tail's wagging. He doesn't want to kiss me. He wants to start playing. He wants to get on the ground
mhm.
and start wrestling. And so, um, yeah, man. When he tests the boundary, immediately check his ass. So, and
Mhm.
then ears go down, and then he cowers, and I'm like, "You're good. Like, that was too far. Let's keep going." So,
Yep.
um, I've only had to a couple of times really put my foot down, but he responds pretty well.
Well, so this knuckle here, because Ginger, she's part pit bull.
Mhm.
She's got that dumb hard head too, but she's the sweetest dog, smiles and everything. But she was getting rambunctious one night, and she was going after Loki, who's like the Chewini. And I was like, absolutely not. He's a rat. that is, that is a rat. You, you want like you even put him in the mouth. He's done.
Mhm.
I grabbed her by her lower jaw and I looked at her and then she was like, no. And she started to bite down and I popped her in her head. And
Mhm.
she was like, oh,
Yep.
and I'm like, oh man. And once again, she's also never gone after Loki since then. but like, I had like this, my knuckle was huge. So it wasn't a good clean hit, but it was enough. Don't bite me, dummy.
Yep.
And we've been cool. We have also been cool ever since then.
I'm sure that's
'Cause
healthy for your guys' relationship.
well, I'm not a big fan of beating dogs,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because that's wrong. But I was like, oh wait, no, now my person is in danger.
Yep.
No, 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 no. This is my house. Don't forget it.
Yeah. Healthy boundaries. Nothing wrong with it.
Yep.
And the
I'm
dog
sure.
is not the provider. Like, your dog's not feeding you. So as long as that relationship works that favor, then
hmm
you should feel the right to have authority over your pet.
She's definitely a big snuggle butt, though.
Yeah.
She's a big snuggler. Makes Cleo all jealous as shit. Because I've had Cleo for over a decade, and that was my dog that when I snorted all the money away, we just had a bag of potatoes to split. I did that a couple times. Like like that dog and I have been through everything pretty much since I got out of the Marine Corps. That's my best friend. Sorry, Derek, but like, but yeah. Yeah, so now she's like, "Who's this young dog you're always snuggling with?" I'm like, "I'm snuggling with you too, stupid. Just leave each other alone." hey, hey, I'm sorry. I have the Suns like a graphic of the Suns game going on.
Oh, okay.
Hey, buddy. Looks like the Suns just pulled ahead 101 to 100 against the Dallas Mavericks. They
The
might
team,
close this one out.
the team that rocked them in the playoffs last year.
Ruined him. This vengeance game. That's something I'll give sports betting some credit for.
What's that?
I am now invested in sports that I've not watched before.
Absolutely.
Because not because I want to I now want to understand how I can bet a quarter somewhere else.
Yep.
Oh, hey,
You are
that's
doing a
cool.
very, very solid statue impression right now.
Yeah.
I think that might be the podcast god saying you guys have gone over an hour like
Yeah.
normal, and it is past 9, almost 9:30, and the Suns game. How much time is left in the Suns game?
2:20 in the fourth quarter.
Oh man, I've got it out. I don't have it in this room. I have it in the other room. So
Well, you better get out.
let's go check that out.
All right, brother. Well, thank you for listening to the Sober Swole podcast. I am Frozen Jake Howard.
And I am unfrozen, DJ Swear.
Have a good night, everybody.
Warhorse. Bye.
Warhorse?
Hey, it's Warhorse. Do you want your workouts to look like this? Or do you want your workouts to slay? When Warhorse picks his pre-workout, he wants it to slay. If you want second place, go with somebody else. If you want to be a champion, go with Royalty Nutrition.